Stitchy friends, and welcome to my channel, Rose Red Diamonds and Crafts. My name is Angelica, and every month I make a wrap-up video for the previous month, and then go over plans for the current month. This is something I've always done on my channel, even back before it was primarily a Flosstube channel. So whether it was diamond painting, it was heavy in diamond painting, gaming. I talked books and puzzles, and I was cross stitching. I had just started cross stitching when I started my channel, so I did talk about cross stitch, but I didn't primarily become a Flosstube channel until March of last year, and that was because of March Madness, which was an event I did with the Facebook group Fandom Stitching, and so this is my second year doing that event, so I have a lot of whips to show you. Before I talk anymore, I do have a toddler, and he is in the room, but he should be entertained enough that he shouldn't be too loud. But if you hear something in the background, it's just him. Anyways, okay, so I think that was all the important stuff to get started. So, summary for March. Let me get my notes. I touched 17 projects. That counts 6 new starts. And I stitched a total of 23,294 stitches. So, the first whip I'm going to show you is, technically I started it on the last day of February, but it was after I'd already filmed my February wrap-up. So, first up, and I'm going to insert all the, all my patterns. I will insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like. The cover art. I'm going to post the cover art for every picture. And then when I get to, I don't usually do this, but I think I will do it for this video, is I'm going to insert where I was, or last I showed it. I think I was able to, I think I took enough picture, I believe I have before pictures on all my projects. So if I have the before pictures, I'll enter that in, as well as the cover art. So first up, we have Disney Chibi Villains by L. Cross Stitch on Etsy. This is a year-long sal with that I'm doing with Fandom on Facebook. I am doing this, I started on February 29th. I'm doing it 1/1 on 18 count, purple and green that I hand dyed myself. And I picked this up for 3 days. I picked this up on 3 different days, and put in a total of 1,868 stitches. There's also a Heroes pattern that's the sister to this one. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. It depends on how long it takes me to finish this. Okay, Next new start is Well Suited by Ink Circles. This I started this on the 5th, March 5th. Let's see here, March 5th. I'm doing this 2/1, 18 on 18 count taupe that I dyed. I did it a light taupe, or like lightly dyed it taupe, so that it had spots, so it wasn't fully immersed in the dye. So lightly dyed. Sorry, I keep losing my spot. I picked this up for 2 days, and I put in 1,143 stitches. Okay, next new start, and this one I'm going to use my light pad. The next one is Storytime by Forbidden Fibers Co. This was part of a Valentine's box, this year's Valentine's box. Princess Bride Valentine's box. So it's Storytime. So I started this on March 6th. I'm doing it 2/1. Yeah, 2/1 on 18 count granite. This is part of it was part of the Valentine's box set. It's a whole kit. It was the whole words. Okay, so it's the pattern, the floss, the fabric is granite. I can't really, I'm not in love with the color. It kind of hurts my eyes trying to see, because I could tell it's mottled, like there's 2 different colors, but it's hard to for my eyes to adjust to it. Well, let me finish what I was going to say. So I started this on March 6th, 2/1, 18 count granite, from Forbidden Fibers Co. I picked it up once and put in 419 stitches. Initially, I had just done the letters, or the words, but then I still had like 2 hours left in the day, and so I threw in a little bit more of the pattern. So this one, like I said, it came part of a box set, the whole thing. It also came with a project bag. And my favorite pieces, the things that I use the most, is this tin. I use with my scissors and threader, and this needle minder has become my favorite. I think because it has the button. It has a button on the back. This has become my favorite needle minder. I've been using it all month since I got it. Okay, next new start. I'm also going to use my light pad for this one too. So next up is Spring's Promise by Mislaid Pages. This pattern was released with her 2023 Bird Box. I didn't buy the Bird box. I bought I just bought the pattern and the fabric from her shop, and then used floss from stash. So, woo, of course. So I started this on March 8th. Yeah, March 8th. I'm doing it 2/2 on 32 count Lugana in the colorway Renewal. It's called Renewal. It's on the shop, Mislaid Pages. I do not know if it's something that she will continue to dye, or if it's just what's in stock. So I picked this up twice. I barely put in 400 stitches on the day that it was called for. And I wanted, and that wasn't even all the first swan's body. So I wanted to finish it up. So I picked it up the next day, and I put in 1,262 stitches. I was really nervous about this one. So first off, I had really intended on doing a blend for the body, the main body, since I didn't have the dinky dies that it was called for. The pattern comes with the DMC conversion, and the conversion calls for a mint color. I don't remember the number it is, but it's a mint. And I was going to do a blend of mint and a white or a cream. That was the intention, but I was so nervous about using a 32 count, 2/2. I was so nervous about that I just used the one single color. And I think it's going to look really nice after the border is put in. And if I really don't like it, I could always stitch it again. But I think it's going to look fine. Also, even I didn't want to stop because of the fact that it was 2/2. I have a hard enough time counting 1/1, or being over 1, that having to count over 2, it just, and the next part of the pattern is the border, so I'm gonna have to count somehow, confidently count out to where to start that border, so that the swan stays centered. Next, the next two I'm just going to show really quickly. They're stamped kits. They are new starts, but they're stamped, and they're nothing special about them. So, but because it counts for my total monthly goal or stitch count. So the first one is Mona Lisa, and I decided to work on just her face. To see how well the face turned out, because if the face is really ugly, I don't want to bother stitching the whole thing, even though it's not because the whole thing's not very big. So I just did put in, it's 274 stitches on her face. I'm kind of turning it so you can see that it was just 2 or 3 colors that I started with. But yeah, I'm going to do the face first and see if it's even worth continuing. And then the others, I'm not even going to pull it out. It was literally 97 stitches. Just some brown on this, on the coffee. It's coffee. So, okay. Next up is sampler number 208. This is from 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. I wrote really small. I wrote really small to get all these facts in on a single page, and that wasn't very smart. Okay. So this is a pattern. Okay. Let me just show it. I started this last year for March Madness, on March 9th of 2023. I'm doing this 1/1 on 18 count wine and purple that I dyed myself. I picked this up once. I only worked on this one day in March, and I put in 1,653 stitches. So I spent all day. I was able to dedicate most of the day to just stitching and getting progress on this. And I did that while listening to an audiobook, which is my first audiobook for the year, hopefully not my last. But Bridgerton season 3 is getting ready will be released next month, and in anticipation for the new season, I had rewatched the previous seasons, but I binged it so fast that I wasn't satisfied. So I went and I listened to the audiobook which would Romancing Mr. Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, right? Which is the story for the new season, because Penelope is my favorite character. Anywho, yeah, I got a lot done, and this will show you the whole fabric. So this is one of those projects that this project is one of those ones where I'm not in a rush to finish it. I'm happy as long as I pick it up a couple times a year. So if I was to I only put in 2,000 a year, I would be fine with that. But at the same time, I kind of want to finish that first square off this year, so I'll probably pick it up one more time. I don't think I've touched that since last March. So next we have Gaming Mandala by Asleep at the Stitch on Etsy. This was something I thought would be fast and I could stitch it, or I could make for my husband. I started this last March Madness, March 9th, 2023. I'm doing this 1/1 on 18 count charcoal that I dyed. And let's bring it in closer to see the progress. I am using a variegated floss, and I'm not enjoying this. Well, first off, I only picked this up once this month, and I put in 422 stitches. Now, I'm not enjoying this. One of the reasons why is because of the variegated floss. I was stressing over where the colors were falling in the pattern, and then I got to a point where I just didn't care. I'm just going to stitch where my needle leads me, and the colors are what the colors are. I think I was overthinking it. It's not terribly big. Let me check something real quick. I'm just checking my notions, which I just bought last month. I would have mentioned that earlier. or I would have mentioned that at some point during this video. Gaming Mandala. Okay, so this has less than 5,000 stitches. Yeah, that's what I was trying to check. This pattern has less than 5,000 stitches, and I've almost put 1,000 stitches in. So that doesn't make any sense. Well, anyways, one of the things that I just read. Okay, so it's got less than 5,000 stitches, and I've put in 900 and something. So theoretically, I could finish this soon, but whenever I pull it out, I am like, am I done yet? It's one of those things. Am I done yet? Can I put this down? So, because of that, I decided I'm still going to work on it, but I'm still going to work on it, but so instead I'm going to kit up the video game sampler from Screaming Heart Design, which was it was from a 2021 fundraiser. So you would donate to their charity that they chose, and then you get the pattern. I've had it for a while, and I just I haven't gotten around to kitting up, so I think that he'll enjoy that more, and I will enjoy stitching on that more. Sorry if I slurp. Okay, next up is the Arcana Sal from Uncanny Kari. This is a Patreon chart that I started. I think I started it during the first drop, or around that time, early on. So I started this on October 10th of 2023. I am doing it, notes. I'm doing it 2/1 on 18 count pearl gray. I'm doing the recommended blend, floss blend. It's this really pretty blue, a strand of this, I call it magical blue. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it reminds me of Mickey Mouse Sorcerer, but it's a blue and a black blend. You can't really see very well, but anyways, and it's on a pearl gray, 18 count pearl gray that I dyed myself. I only picked it up once this month and put in 540 stitches. Literally right before filming this, she just posted the final installment of this sal, and in the post she said she is considering making it available to purchase for non-Patreon people, possibly in the future. Next we have, sun's coming up. Next we have Aurora Cabin. This is a Dimensions kit. This is was a Christmas gift. It's kind of wrinkly because it's a 16 count, so it's kind of stiff still. This was a Christmas gift from my husband and middle child. From they got it for me for Christmas of 2021, which was literally right after I started cross stitching. So anyways, I started this I was gonna say last April. No, April 24th, 2022. It's on a 16 count gray. It's a really pale gray. And I only picked this up once, and put in 1,772 back stitches, all in the sky right here, because the sky is all back stitch. I mean, tent stitch. It's all tent. Ugh. But I want to finish the sky before moving down to the trees. And then I keep going back and forth between, you know, where I want to move, but I want to finish that sky up first. So, next I have Cthulhu Awakens. Actually, might as well just keep this in my lap. Cthulhu Awakens. This is from, I got it from the World of Stitches blog. It was a free pattern on the blog. And I started this on, I started it on October 5th, 2023. I'm doing it 2/1. 2/1 on 18 count black that I dyed myself. I picked this up twice this month, and I put in 1,271. Oh, also, I keep meaning to, I've been forgetting to mention this for the last couple of months, but, or all year, I guess, technically. In January, so I've been stitching for 2 years. Yeah, I've been stitching for 2 years. And in January, I changed my stitching direction. So, yeah, I stitched my X's backwards from what I used to. And, when I picked this up, this is the first thing that, I've had to do it on a couple of other things, but not a lot. But I couldn't just switch directions, so it was kind of, so I had to keep stitching the way I originally started, in the same direction that I had originally started, which made me want to power through and finish up all of the body color. I wanted that completely finished, so that as I move on to other parts of the pattern, I could go to the way I'm doing it now. But I didn't want there to be two different, because you could tell on you could tell if you switch stitching directions. If you're during color blocking, is what I'm trying to say. If you're during color blocking, you could tell if you switch directions. So, most of my patterns, I don't care, and I've just switched directions, and it won't be that big of a deal. But this one, I thought it would be, because I was right in the middle of color blocking. So this and maybe 2 more patterns, I had to revert to stitching the way I was when I started. Next is Fish and Chips by Long Dog Samplers. This I started last March Madness on March 10th. I started this March 10th, 2023. I'm doing it 1/1 on 18 count, blue and charcoal dyed myself. I picked this up twice this month for a total of 1,473 stitches. So, besides, well, I had barely peeked this little guy's mouth. I think I had done. I think this fish was already done, and I had just started this fish's mouth. So I believe the body of this fish and everything past this fish, and then I think I also continued the border. And then I did that in one day, and then on the next day, I think I just did the border, because I think I just didn't feel like stitching, but I wanted to give this one some more attention, so I just figured I would do the border. Next up is Lost Soul by Selina Fenech. This was a HAED chart, which is now retired. So I started this last month for my birthday. Holding it upside down. Yeah, I started this last month for my birthday. My finger got stuck in the thing. I'm doing this 1/1 on 25 count. I picked this up twice for a total of 1,652 stitches. And I try to do more of the light colors, the really pale grays and greens and blues. I try to do those because those are the ones that I struggle with the most for the tiny stitching. But it was a little bit easier this time. Or, yeah, because I was really concerned that I was going to have trouble on the 25 count. Next up is No Time Like the Present, which is this year's 2024 Sal with from Modern Folk Embroidery. I don't know, you may have seen other people working on this. They always throw up the red and blue cover art, which is technically the if you look up the chart on the site, that's the first one they have, but they also, if you scroll, they have different color, alternate color options, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Alternate color inspiration, maybe is the word I'm thinking of. And I have a thing about red and blue. It reminds me of like old 3D glasses, and I don't like it. So and I was inspired by the blue and green version, so that's the cover art that I keep using when I show this project. So here's my progress on that. I started this on January 7th. I'm doing it 1/1 on 18 count. I put 2 days in, and I put in a total of 1,264 stitches. I did this line here and all of this blue on one day, and then the second day I just did a little bit of, because it was right in the middle, so I just kind of did this stuff on the second day. All right, next up is Supernatural from the Witchy Stitcher. I've noticed I've dropped the Sal part most of the time when I talk about this one, because this is from 2 years ago. So usually I just call it Supernatural, even though, yeah, it's technically Supernatural Sal. Anyways, I started this on June 18th, 2022. I'm doing it on 18 count coffee dyed myself. I picked this up 3 days and put in a total of 2,154 stitches, and it made it to second place for my March Madness bracket. I decided that I'm going to fill it, or I decided after finishing that first one that I actually wanted to do all the frames first, and then go through and enter, put in the creatures and the names last. Next up we have Pokemon. This is Gen 1 extended version from Lord Libidan, aka Pokemon Re, because this was a restart. So let me pull it up. Alright, so I started this in December. Sorry, back up. The original, I said this is a restart. The original, I originally started this, that's what I meant to say. I had originally started this January 8th of 2022. For the hashtag gotta catch 'em all Sal that Rachel Ray started. That's Rachel Ray Crafts. She now has a designated Flosstube channel, which is Rachel Ray Fiber Arts. So yeah, I had originally started it in January, and then I talked about it in my I mentioned it in my Whip Parade, but I restarted this last year, May 23rd. So this is actually May 23rd, 2023. I need to remember to use that, or backtrack. My husband asked me when I was working on this in March, all over the place. So when I was working on this in March, my husband asked me when I started it. I grabbed the floss card and I started to tell him the January date, and then I realized that that was the floss card for the original and not for the new, for this one. So I have to update that, or so that's why I thought of it. Anywho, so I'm doing this 1/1 on 18 count royal blue that I dyed myself. I picked this up 4 days in March and put in 3,313 stitches, and is the winner of my March bracket, my March Madness bracket. So I finally finished this whole top row, or the last page. This was 4 pages long, right? Talking to myself. It is 4 pages long. And I think the page ends like right here, but anything below that is a different Pokemon. So I'm turning too much. So I call it an end. The page's end. So now I'm going to go back over here and start on this side again and work my way across. Also, when I put this in Pattern Keeper, I highlighted the background color and then marked it as complete. I think it was 11,000 stitches, approximately, maybe. I don't have it next to me. But anyways, I zeroed out the background color because on the pattern you actually have to stitch it. Well, part of that color is also in this Pokemon, and so I had to frog on Pattern Keeper that color, and then I couldn't find a color in Stash that was close to what they were calling for, and then I realized that I had already had on a floss drop a different color, a different DMC color, that looked like the same thing, and there was literally only 60 stitches I'm going to use that color for on a different Pokemon. So I just used it for him, and because it looks like the right color anyways. So yay, I'm finally done with the top row. And also this Pokemon, actually no, it wasn't even this one, but the original Pokemon that I had started was the winner of March Madness last year, and then I stopped it. I stopped working on it during March Madness or after March Madness because I realized the color issues I was having. So but still, Pokemon won 2 years in a row. That's my point. Okay, and the last whip that I worked on. Oh, I'm going to take this just because of the thing. So, this is Merry Mushroom 2. This is the HAED Sal. Artwork by Aimee Stewart. I started this on January 24th. I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch on 20 count, and I picked this up 5 different days and put in 2,717 stitches. And you can't tell, but there's a lot of white right here. That's why I'm trying to get it angle so you can see that I did put some white in there. So I finished off the first page, which is somewhere around here. I finished off the first page, and then I started doing a bunch of the white and some more of the mushroom. I tend to reach for the darker colors and save the lighter colors for last, but I was trying to do the opposite and reach for the lighter colors first, just to mix things up. So that is everything that I touched in March. Plans. I have a list of plans, but they're all scattered all over the place. So let me see if I can remember all of them. First off, I did a lot of stitching for March Madness. It took over my life in March, and it's not the first time. I did the same thing last March. I feel like I have can't think of restraint when it comes to getting those points. Okay, so for fandom, whenever there's an event to stitch as much as you could stitch, like Stitching Madness or Ringo, those kind of events, I like put all my time into, and I really neglect a lot of other things. So after this, if I decided that I am going to pull myself back from fandom. And my plan is to only participate in the monthly movie event. That's it. I'm not allowing myself to do any other events. That said, I will still be doing WIPGO, and I will still be pulling projects on my bingo right here, my bingo ball roller cage thingy. I'll still be pulling for projects, and if I'm not focusing on fandom, then I will start pulling more projects. I think last month I pulled 4, and then we had WIPGO, but between WIPGO and my pulls, I already had everything. Those things were already on my March Madness board, so it was kind of like it didn't really matter last month. And then this month, the WIPGO calls for this month was 18 and 21. 18 is I have for 18 I put close to a finish, and for 21 is sampler. Now, technically I was already planning on doing those 2 whips that I'm going to explain in a second. So after March Madness, I had touched 17 whips, I said, and that left only 5. That left 5 whips not touched. So I figured this month, for April, I would touch those 5 projects, and as well as the one project that was on my March Madness board that I didn't get to. So 6 projects. My goal is to put 500 stitches on each. Alice in Wonderland by Owl Forest Embroidery. Ghostface Valentine, which is a Patreon exclusive from the Witchy Stitcher. Grover, Monster at the End of this book. Halloween Movie Sal from Atomic Tiki Pins. Seductive Kermit from Witchy Stitcher, and Vintage Halloween Buckets, which is also a Witchy Stitcher Patreon. So I intend on touching all 6 of those whips, 500 stitches each. That's my plan for April, and that's my primary goal for stitching, or priority stitching, for April. That's 3,000 stitches if you did the math. That's 3,000 stitches. That's the only thing that's a priority stitching wise for me this month, because I need to focus on I have a lot of cleaning. I have a lot of cleaning to do that has been neglected for the last couple of years. Like I said, I have a toddler. He's 3. And I've really fallen behind on cleaning. I'm doing some bedroom rearranging, which is why my desk is, or my dresser is here now, which it used to be here a long time ago, but I had to move it because of the child. And I reorganized my diamond paintings. That's just some small things. So I've got a lot of cleaning and reorganizing, as well as I need to finish this diamond painting, which which probably has about 12 to 20 hours left to finish. And I also want to start another one because I just bought my first diamond painting for this year. Like, I have a stash of 40 diamond paintings, and well, yeah, 39. I have 39 diamond paintings in stash, and then they just released the Medusa by Chrisabug, and I already own two from that set, and Medusa is important. So for me, I have Persephone. She's up here. You just can't see her. She's right above the castle. I have Persephone. That's the fall one with the skulls and the pomegranate, not the spring one with the flowers. There's two different versions on Diamond Art Club. And then I also own the what's it called? I'm drawing a blank, and the Fates. The three fates. So having Persephone, the three fates, I felt like I needed that Medusa. So I ordered that. It's the first one I bought this year, and I may not buy any more because I really need to work on my stash. Cleaning, diamond painting, gaming. I expect my husband to want to, we're probably going to be playing, not only am I going to be playing Fortnite and Star Rail with my husband, and if you're familiar with Star Rail, it's not a game that you would play with other people, but we both get on at the same time on our consoles. We each have our own consoles, and then we just do a voice chat. We do a voice chat. So we technically are playing the game together. Anyways, besides him wanting, he looks forward to playing the games with me. I also have a really large backlog or stash of video games that I was collecting back before I got into cross stitch and diamond painting. That was my main hobby. It was gaming and jigsaw puzzles were my primary hobbies before I got into diamond painting and cross stitch. So I acquired a lot of video games and I have not touched them. So I really want to pull back on cross stitching. I don't need another month of 20,000 plus stitches. So primary goal is 3,000 stitches on those 6 whips that I mentioned. However, I'm probably not going to hold back on just 3,000 stitches. So So me and my child, we keep flip-flopping our sleeping schedule. Sometimes we're morning people, sometimes we're night people. Depending on which schedule we're on, kind of determines how I spend my free time. So that's why cross stitching is another reason why cross stitching is so easy to pull. However, I can't remember where I was going with that. Lost my train of thought. So if I pull stitching again after doing those 3,000, if I feel like pulling a stitch out, I'm going to pull either So I'll have 4 whips that I could touch, which is my dragon, my stamped dragon, the Disney Chibi villains, Mary Mushroom, or the Modern Folk Embroidery, because all of those I have an end of the year goal, or I would prefer if those are completed by the end of this year. They don't have to be, but because I still am trying to go for a finish by the end of the year, if I pick up anything, I need to work on those because I'm behind on all of those for the year. Also, I intend on dyeing fabric and pulling floss to kit up some new future starts, or for some new starts that I plan on starting in the future. So I need to see what I have, and then so I could build a list of what I need to purchase when I can afford it. No, I think I covered everything, even though I went out of order of what I had intended. Okay, so it's Friday, and usually I like to edit my video right away and post it as fast as possible. However, I want to try something out. I want to see if I could do something first in editing, and then which means I may not be able to post this until Monday. I will do it earlier if I can, but it's possible I may not be able to post this video, or you might not be seeing this until Monday. So I'm going to watch Rachel Ray's Patreon vlog. That's Rachel Ray Craft, the crafter, not the cook. I'm gonna watch her Patreon vlog that she just posted, and because unfortunately I have to cut back all my monthly expenses, and that means I'm going to miss out on her weekly vlogs. But I follow her on Twitch, so as long as I am on a morning schedule, I'll be able to catch her twice a week when she goes live. Then tonight I will be watching Mrs. Coffee, assuming my husband doesn't want to play video games. He usually wants to play on Friday nights. Friday nights and Saturday are the primary days that he wants to play, and so I have had to miss a couple of Mrs. Coffee streams. But she goes live tonight, and then she also goes live tomorrow. These are on Twitch, where she goes by Caffeinated Doodler, where she primarily draws, but she also plays games like Sims and Palia, which I haven't been able to play Palia since summer. I think since summer. I haven't been able to play since summertime, like September. I haven't been able to play, but I do have it updated and installed on my Switch, which is up there in that black case. I have it updated on Switch, and I'm going to see if I could play it comfortably on the Switch, because I was playing it on the PC before, but I don't have access to that PC. Okay, so I hope that was everything that was important that I wanted to mention. So until next time, bye!